The abduction. On a cool night in a small town, Alex walked home from his job. At the local grocery store, the streetlights flickered softly, casting long shadows on the ground. Alex felt lonely. Life seemed dull, and he often dreamed of adventure. Little did he know, tonight would be unlike any other. As he strolled along the quiet street, something unusual caught his eye. A bright light shone in the sky, moving quickly and changing colors. Alex stopped and stared, his heart racing with a mix of fear and excitement. He had never seen anything like it before. The light danced in the dark, drawing him in. Suddenly, the light grew brighter and larger. It surrounded him, and he felt a strange pulling sensation. Before he could scream or run, he was lifted off the ground. Everything around him blurred, and in an instant, he found himself inside a strange metallic room. Alex blinked, trying to understand what had just happened. The air was different, thinner, colder. As he looked around, he saw strange machines and glowing screens. Panic set in. He was no longer on Earth. He was somewhere else entirely. "Welcome," said a voice, soft but strong. Alex turned to see a girl standing before him. She had bright green skin, large, expressive eyes, and long flowing hair that shimmered like stars. She wore a suit that looked like it was made from liquid silver. Alex's heart raced. This was not a dream. He was face to face with an alien. "I am Zura," she said, her voice melodic and calming. "You have been chosen for a special purpose." Alex felt his throat go dry. "Chosen? For what?" he asked, trying to sound brave. But inside, he was terrified. Zura stepped closer, her eyes fixed on him. "My people need help to survive. We are facing a crisis on my planet. We need strong humans to save our race." Alex's mind raced with questions. "What do you mean? Why me?" "You are special," Zara replied. "You have qualities that can help us." He looked at her, confusion mixed with curiosity. Zara explained that her planet, Selara, was struggling. They had lost many of their own due to a disease, and they needed to breed with humans to create stronger offspring. Alex felt a shiver run down his spine. He realized he was part of something much bigger than himself. "Breeding," he echoed, trying to wrap his mind around her words. "You want me to have children with you?" Zara nodded, her expression serious. "Yes, it is our only hope." Alex felt a mix of emotions, fear, anger, and an unexpected thrill. He wanted to escape, but part of him was fascinated by Zara. She was unlike anyone he had ever met. "Why should I help you?" he challenged, trying to regain some control. "Because," Zara said softly, "together, we can create a future. You may find that you are not alone anymore." As she spoke, Alex felt a strange pull toward her. He looked into her eyes and saw a flicker of hope. Maybe this adventure could change his life forever. But the thought of leaving Earth behind frightened him. Yet there was no going back now. He had been chosen, and there was no escape from this new and dangerous world. Different worlds. Alex stood in the strange room, still trying to understand what had happened. Zara watched him with her large, glowing eyes, waiting for him to respond. The air felt electric, charged with possibilities and fears. "Come with me," she said, breaking the silence. Alex hesitated for a moment, but followed her through a doorway that shimmered like a waterfall. As they stepped through, he was hit by a rush of colors and sounds. They emerged onto a vast platform that floated in the sky. Below them, Alex saw a world that looked nothing like Earth. The ground was covered in soft, purple grass that swayed gently, and strange trees with silver leaves reached toward the sky. Above, 2 suns shone brightly, casting a warm glow over everything. "This is my home," Zara said proudly. "Welcome to Xelara." Alex stared in awe. The sky was filled with vibrant colors that shifted and changed, almost like a living painting. Creatures of all shapes and sizes floated by. some resembling animals from Earth, while others looked completely alien. As they walked, Zora pointed out various places. "This is the Garden of Life," she said, indicating a beautiful area where plants glowed softly. "We grow our food and medicine here." Alex marveled at the plants. They were unlike anything he had ever seen, with colors that seemed to pulse with energy. "How do they grow?" he asked, feeling both fascinated and lost. "Using a special energy from our suns," Zora explained. "It nourishes us and keeps our planet alive." Suddenly, they passed a group of Silarans who were playing a game that involved floating balls of light. Alex watched, intrigued by their laughter and energy. "They seem happy," he remarked. "They are," Zara said, her tone growing serious. "But there is sadness among us. Many of our friends are gone, and we need help." As they walked, Alex noticed the contrast between the beauty of Silara and the sadness in Zora's eyes. He felt a tug of compassion for her and her people. "What happens if I don't help?" he asked, feeling the weight of his decision. Zara stopped and looked at him earnestly. "If we do not find strong humans to breed with, my people may not survive. Our race is in danger." Alex swallowed hard. The weight of her words sank in. He had always wanted adventure, but he never imagined it would come with such serious consequences. They continued walking, and Zara led him to a place filled with strange machines and bright screens. "This is our research center," she said. "Here, we study ways to heal our people and find new ways to survive." Alex watched as Silarans worked together, their hands moving swiftly over glowing screens. They seemed focused, determined. He felt a sense of urgency in the air, a shared mission that connected them all. As the sun began to set, the sky turned a brilliant orange and purple. It was breathtaking. "It's beautiful here," Alex admitted, feeling a spark of hope. "Yes," Zora said, smiling for the first time. "But beauty alone cannot save us." Her words echoed in his mind. He realized that this was not just a chance for adventure. It was a chance to make a real difference. He took a deep breath, feeling the weight of his choice. "I'll help you," he said finally, determination in his voice. Zara's eyes lit up with hope. "Thank you, Alex," she said. "Together, we can create a future for both our worlds." As they stood together, Alex felt a connection to Zara and her planet. He was no longer just a lonely human. He was part of something much larger. Together, they would face the challenges ahead, the experiments. The days passed quickly on Silara, and Alex felt both excited and anxious. He had agreed to help Zara and her people, but he had no idea what that truly meant. Zara had told him they would start with experiments to see if he was compatible with her species. One morning, Zara led Alex to a bright, white room filled with strange machines. The walls hummed softly, and colorful lights blinked rhythmically. "This is the lab," she explained. "Here, we will learn about your body and how it works." Alex looked around, feeling a mix of fear and curiosity. "What will you do to me?" he asked, trying to keep his voice steady. "Nothing harmful, I promise," Zara assured him, her expression serious but kind. "We need to understand your biology. It is important for our survival." He nodded, even though he still felt nervous. Zara guided him to a large chair in the center of the room. "Please sit," she said gently. He hesitated for a moment, but then sat down, trying to calm his racing heart. As he settled into the chair, several small machines floated toward him. They looked like silver orbs with glowing lights. "These will help us collect data," Zora explained. "They will not hurt you." One by one, the machines began to scan him. They hovered around him, emitting soft peeps and flashes of light. Alex felt a tickling sensation as they moved close to his skin. He tried to relax, but it was hard to shake off the nervousness. "Are you okay?" Zara asked, watching him closely. "Yeah, I'm fine," he replied, forcing a smile. just a little strange. After a few minutes, the machines returned to Zara, who examined the data on a screen. "Your body is very different from ours," she said, her brows furrowing. "But there are many compatible elements." "What does that mean?" Alex asked, trying to understand. "It means we can proceed with the next steps," Zara replied, her voice filled with hope. "But we need to run more tests." Over the next few days, Alex participated in various experiments. Some involved blood samples, while others tested his physical strength. Each time, Zara remained by his side, explaining everything. He appreciated her presence. She made him feel less alone in this strange place. As they worked together, Alex began to notice something surprising. He felt a connection with Zara that went beyond friendship. They shared laughs and moments of understanding, and he found himself looking forward to their time together. One day, after a long session in the lab, Alex asked, "What do you do for fun around here?" Zara smiled, her eyes sparkling. "We have many games and activities. Would you like to try?" "Yes, I'd love to," he said, feeling excited. She led him to an open area where other Xylarans were playing a game that looked like a mix of soccer and basketball. The goal was to kick a glowing orb into a floating hoop. Alex joined in, and soon he was laughing and having fun with the others. He felt alive, running and kicking the orb as his new friends cheered. Zara joined him, and they worked as a team. For the first time since his arrival, he felt like he belonged. After the game, Alex and Zara sat on a soft patch of purple grass, catching their breath. "Thank you for showing me this," he said, looking at her with gratitude. "I'm glad you enjoyed it," Zara replied, smiling. "You are not just a subject to us. You are a friend." In that moment, Alex realized that he had not only come to help, but also found a place where he felt accepted. The experiments were important, but it was the bond he was building with Zara that truly mattered. Together, they were creating a path toward a brighter future. Friendship grows. As the days turned into weeks, Alex found himself settling into life on Xylara. The initial fear of being an alien's experiment faded, replaced by a growing bond with Zara. Their friendship blossomed amidst the strange and beautiful backdrop of her world. Every day, after the experiments, Alex and Zara spent time together. They explored the vibrant landscapes of Xylara, discovering hidden gardens and sparkling rivers. Alex was amazed by the unique flora and fauna, each more astonishing than the last. Zara taught him the names of the plants and creatures, sharing stories about her home. One afternoon, as they walked through a forest filled with trees that changed color with the sunlight, Alex turned to Zara. "You know, this place is incredible. I never imagined I could find such beauty," he said, his eyes wide with wonder. Zara smiled, her face glowing with pride. "I'm glad you see it. Many of us forget to appreciate our world. It takes a fresh pair of eyes to remind us." They came across a small clearing where the ground sparkled with tiny, glowing flowers. Zara knelt to touch one, and it opened like a star. Alex watched, fascinated. "Can we pick some?" he asked, eager to share this moment. "No, we must respect nature," Zara replied, standing up. "But we can enjoy their beauty and remember them." Alex nodded, feeling a sense of calm wash over him. Zara's respect for her world inspired him. He realized that her connection to Xylara was deep, and he wanted to understand it better. One evening, as the two watched the twin suns set, casting golden light across the land, Alex turned to Zara. "Can I ask you something?" he said, his voice serious. "Of course," Zara replied, her eyes focused on him. "Why did you choose me? There are many humans. What makes me special?" Zara paused, choosing her words carefully. "It is not just about being special. It's about potential. I see strength in you, both physically and emotionally. You are open-minded and brave." Alex felt a warmth in her words. "I just wanted to help," he admitted. "But you've taught me so much. I feel stronger because of you." Zara smiled softly. "And you've taught me to be more open, to see beyond my worries. Together, we can create something beautiful." With each passing day, their friendship deepened. They shared laughter, dreams, and even fears. Alex began to understand Zora's struggles and the weight she carried for her people. She confided in him about her hopes for Xelura's future and the pain of loss she felt. One night, under a sky full of twinkling stars, Zora showed Alex her favorite place. It was a hill that overlooked the valley, where the lights of her village shimmered like stars on the ground. "This is where I come to think," she said, sitting beside him. "It's beautiful," Alex said, his heart swelling with admiration for her. Zora looked at him, her expression serious. "I know the challenges ahead are great, but I believe we can change the future together." Alex took a deep breath, feeling the weight of her words. "I believe that too. I'll do whatever it takes." Their hands brushed, and an electric feeling shot through him. For a moment, they just sat there, feeling the connection between them grow stronger. As the days continued to pass, Alex began to see Zora not just as an alien girl but as a true friend. He admired her courage and determination. She was not just fighting for her people, she was fighting for hope. And in that fight, Alex found his own purpose. He realized that he was no longer just a stranger on an alien planet. He was part of something meaningful. Together, they were building a bridge between their worlds, and that made all the difference. Secrets revealed. As the bond between Alex and Zora deepened, their days on Xelura were filled with laughter and adventure. But as much as they enjoyed their time together, Alex sensed that Zora was hiding something important. He noticed the shadows in her eyes when she spoke about her planet's troubles. He decided it was time to confront her and learn the truth. One evening, after a long day of experiments and exploration, Alex found Zora sitting alone on the hill where they often watched the sunset. The sky was painted in shades of pink and orange, but Zora's face looked troubled. He walked up to her and sat down, his heart heavy with concern. "Zora," he began gently, "I can tell something is bothering you. You can tell me anything." Zora looked at him, her large eyes reflecting the fading light. I have been trying to protect you," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "Protect me?" Alex asked, surprised. "From what?" Zora took a deep breath, gathering her thoughts. "There is more to our situation than I have let on. The disease that affects my people is deadly. It has spread quickly, and many of my friends and family have already fallen ill. We need strong humans not just for breeding, but also to find a cure." Alex felt a chill run down his spine. "A cure? But how can I help with that?" he questioned, trying to wrap his mind around the new information. "Your DNA has unique qualities that we believe can lead to breakthroughs in our research," Zora explained. "But it is dangerous. If the authorities discover what we are doing, they will stop us." "What do you mean by authorities?" Alex pressed, feeling a knot tighten in his stomach. Zora looked away, her expression filled with fear. "The leaders of my people are desperate. They believe that the solution lies only in traditional methods. They may not support our efforts to blend our genetics or experiment with human DNA." Alex's heart raced as he absorbed her words. "So they would stop you from trying to save your people?" "Yes," she replied, her voice trembling. "If they find out about us, I could be in grave danger too. They may see you as a threat rather than a solution." Alex felt a surge of protectiveness for Zora. "We can't let that happen. We have to keep working on the experiments, but we must be careful. We need to keep it secret." Zora nodded, her eyes shining with gratitude. "Thank you for understanding. You are brave, Alex, and I appreciate your support." They sat in silence for a moment, the weight of the truth hanging between them. Alex thought about the stakes. If they failed, it wouldn't just mean failure for Zora. It would mean danger for everyone on Xelura. "We can figure this out," Alex said finally, his voice steady. "But we need to work as a team. You and I can be stronger together." Zara smiled faintly, her eyes softening. "Yes, together. We can find a way to keep our work secret and save my people." As the sun dipped below the horizon, the sky turned dark, and stars began to twinkle. In that moment, Alex felt a sense of purpose ignite within him. He was no longer just a visitor on Xilara. He was part of a mission to bring hope to a world in crisis. "We will find a cure," he promised, looking into Zora's eyes. "And I will do everything I can to help you and your people." Zora reached for his hand, and they sat together, united by a shared goal. The challenges ahead would be tough, but with their friendship and determination, they felt ready to face whatever came their way. Together, they would fight for the future of Xilara and for the bond they had formed. The escape. The weight of their shared secret hung heavy in the air as Alex and Zara worked tirelessly in the lab. Every day, they pushed their limits, searching for answers to save her people. But as they dove deeper into their research, they realized that time was running out. The disease continued to spread, and the Accelerant authorities were becoming suspicious of their activities. One evening, while reviewing the latest data, Zara looked up at Alex with worry in her eyes. "I heard whispers among the scientists. They think something is happening that they cannot see," she said, her voice trembling. "If they find out about us." Alex's heart raced. "We need to get out of here. We have to find a way to continue our work without being caught." Zara nodded, determination flooding her features. "But how? The guards are everywhere. We can't just walk out." "Maybe we can use the maintenance tunnels," Alex suggested, recalling a conversation he overheard about the ship's infrastructure. "They might lead us to a safe exit. We can escape and find a hidden place to continue our research." Zora's eyes brightened. "That could work, but we need to be careful. If we are caught." "We won't be," Alex interrupted, trying to instill confidence in her. "We'll be smart about it. We'll go tonight, under the cover of darkness." As night fell, the ship transformed. The bustling activity slowed, and the glow of the lights created eerie shadows. Zara and Alex waited until they were sure most Xilarans were busy or asleep. They slipped into the dimly lit corridors, their hearts pounding with excitement and fear. "Over here," Zara whispered, leading him to a small door marked Maintenance. She opened it slowly, and they slipped inside, shutting it quietly behind them. The air was cooler in the tunnel, and the faint sound of machinery echoed around them. "Let's move quickly," Alex urged, glancing over his shoulder. They made their way through the dark, twisting passages, the walls lined with pipes and wires. After what felt like an eternity, they reached a large room filled with equipment. A window on the far side showed a view of the outside world. "Look," Zora pointed. "That must be where we can exit." Alex moved closer to the window and stared outside. They were high above the ground, with the beautiful landscape of Xilara stretching out before them. It was breathtaking, but also terrifying. They had to jump down. "Can you climb down that?" Zora asked, nodding toward a nearby ledge that led to a lower level. "I can try," Alex replied, his heart racing. "But I need you to be careful. We can't get caught." Zara nodded, her eyes filled with trust. "I believe in you." He took a deep breath, gathering his courage. "Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Alex leaped, grabbing onto the ledge. He swung himself down, landing with a soft thud on the lower platform. He looked up and saw Zara following closely behind. She climbed down with grace, landing next to him. "Good job," she whispered, a grin spreading across her face. "Thanks. Now let's keep moving," Alex said, feeling a rush of adrenaline. They continued through the maze of tunnels, keeping their voices low. Suddenly, Alex heard footsteps approaching. Panic surged through him. "Hide," he hissed, pulling Zara behind a large crate. They pressed against the cold metal, holding their breath as the footsteps grew louder. A group of guards passed by, talking about increased security. We need to find those two before they cause any trouble, one guard said, making Alex's stomach drop. As the guards walked away, Alex and Zara exchanged worried glances. We need to hurry, Zara said urgently. They emerged from the tunnel and found themselves outside, the cool night air hitting their faces. Alex looked around. The area was quiet, with only the distant sounds of the city behind them. Where do we go now? He asked, scanning the landscape. There's a forest nearby, Zara replied, pointing to the dark trees in the distance. We can hide there and figure out our next move. Together, they ran toward the forest, hearts pounding in their chests. The danger was real, but so was their determination. They had escaped, but the hardest part was yet to come. As they entered the shelter of the trees, Alex knew they would have to be clever and brave to protect their dreams and fight for Zora's people. Together, they would find a way to continue their mission. The final showdown, hidden deep in the heart of the forest. Alex and Zara took a moment to catch their breath. The trees surrounded them like ancient guardians, their leaves whispering secrets in the cool night air. Though they were safe for now, the weight of their mission pressed heavily on their shoulders. We need to find a way to communicate with the scientists who support our cause, Zara said, her voice steady despite the chaos of the past few hours. They need to know we're still working on the cure. Alex nodded, his mind racing. What if we could reach them through the old communication tower? It's outside the city and may still be functional. Good idea, Zara agreed, her eyes lighting up. But we'll have to be careful. The guards will be searching for us. Determined, they made their way toward the city, sticking to the shadows and avoiding the main paths. As they approached the outskirts, the sounds of the city echoed around them, a reminder of the challenges they faced. Finally, they reached the communication tower, a tall structure shrouded in vines and darkness. This is it, Alex said, looking up. But we need to get inside. Zara led the way, her heart racing with excitement and fear. Together, they climbed the stairs, moving cautiously. When they reached the top, they found the control room filled with old machines and blinking lights. Can you fix it? Alex asked, his eyes scanning the room. I can try, Zora replied, her fingers trembling as she moved to the main console. She started pressing buttons and flipping switches, trying to remember the instructions from her training. Alex watched anxiously, knowing that time was not on their side. Suddenly, the door burst open, and two guards rushed in, their eyes wide with surprise. Stop right there, one shouted, pointing a weapon at them. Run, Alex yelled, pushing Zara away from the console. They darted out of the room and down the stairs, adrenaline pumping through their veins. The guards were right behind them, shouting for backup. Where do we go? Zara gasped, looking for an escape route. There's an exit on the ground floor, Alex shouted, leading the way. They'd reached the bottom just as the guards turned the corner. Without thinking, they pushed through a side door and found themselves in an alleyway. The city was alive with commotion, but they had no time to think. They sprinted toward the outskirts, where the trees loomed large and welcoming. Behind them, they could hear the guards yelling, growing closer. As they ran, Alex felt a surge of fear mixed with determination. They had to reach the tower and send their message before it was too late. We need to slow them down, he said, glancing at Zara. What do you have in mind? She asked, panting heavily. There. Alex pointed to a stack of crates. We can knock those over to block the path. With urgency, they pushed the crates into the alleyway, just as the guards rounded the corner. The loud crash echoed, and the guards skidded to a halt, momentarily stunned. Let's go, Zora shouted, and they dashed toward the trees, adrenaline fueling their escape. They plunged into the forest, branches scratching at their skin as they ran. Once inside the trees, they stopped to catch their breath. We need to reach the communication tower and send a message to the scientists, Alex said, his voice firm. We can't give up now. Zara nodded, her eyes filled with determination. We will find a way. With renewed purpose, they made their way to the tower. The sound of footsteps faded behind them, but they couldn't let their guard down. They were still in danger, and they needed to be quick. As they reached the tower, Zara quickly set to work again. She powered on the machine and began typing a message to the scientists. "We're in danger. We need your help to stop the authorities and find a cure," she wrote, her fingers flying over the keys. Suddenly, the door swung open, and the guards appeared once more determined than ever. "You won't get away this time," one shouted. "Zara, hurry," Alex urged, stepping in front of her protectively. "Almost done," Zara replied, her focus unwavering. Just as the guards lunged forward, the message was sent. Zara pressed the final key, and the machine beeped in confirmation. "It's done," she exclaimed. "Let's go." Alex grabbed her hand, and they dashed for the back exit of the tower. The guards were hot on their heels, but they didn't look back. As they raced through the forest, the sounds of the city faded behind them. They were tired and scared, but they had each other and their mission. They had sent their message and ignited hope for Xelara. Now, all they could do was run and wait for the response. The final showdown had begun, and they were ready to fight for their future. A new life. The days turned into a blur of uncertainty as Alex and Zara hid in the depths of the forest. They had escaped the guards and sent their message, but now they were left waiting, their hearts heavy with anxiety. Each passing hour felt like an eternity, and the fear of being caught loomed over them like a dark cloud. One afternoon, as they sat beside a small stream, Zara turned to Alex. "Do you think they received our message?" she asked, her voice filled with hope yet tinged with doubt. "I believe they did," Alex replied, trying to sound confident. "We just have to stay strong and be patient. They know how important this is." Zara nodded, but Alex could see the worry in her eyes. He wanted to comfort her, but he felt a weight of his own. They were in a strange world, facing unimaginable challenges, and the future was uncertain. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the trees, Alex noticed a flicker of movement in the distance. "What's that?" he asked, squinting to see better. Suddenly, a group of figures emerged from the shadows. Alex's heart raced. "Are those the guards?" he whispered, panic rising in his chest. "No, wait," Zara said, her eyes wide with recognition. "Those are my friends." The figures drew closer, and Alex saw that they were indeed Accelerans, led by Zara's childhood friend, Lyra. She rushed forward, her face alight with relief. "Zara." "Alex, thank the stars you're safe." Zara hugged Lyra tightly, tears of joy streaming down her cheeks. "I was so scared you wouldn't come." Lyra stepped back, her expression turning serious. "We received your message. The council is in chaos. They're searching for you, but we're here to help." Alex felt a wave of relief wash over him. "What's the plan?" he asked, eager to understand how they could move forward. "The council has decided to meet in secret to discuss your findings," Lyra explained. "We want you to come with us and present your ideas. It's risky, but it could change everything for our people." Zara looked at Alex, her eyes filled with determination. "This is our chance. We have to do it." After a brief discussion, the group set off, navigating through the forest toward a hidden location where the council would meet. Alex felt a mix of excitement and nerves. This was a moment that could alter the fate of Xelara. When they arrived, they found a small clearing surrounded by ancient trees, their branches forming a natural canopy. The council members were already gathered, their expressions a mix of worry and hope. Zara and Alex stepped forward, taking their places in front of the group. Zara began to speak, her voice steady. "We have discovered that human DNA can help us find a cure for the disease. I believe it's our only hope." The council members exchanged glances, some skeptical, others intrigued. But we have always relied on our traditions, one elder said, frowning. What makes this different? Alex took a deep breath, stepping forward to speak. I know change can be hard, but your people are suffering. We have to be open to new ideas. Together, we can create a brighter future. As he spoke, he felt a connection with the Xylorans around him. They were all fighting for the same thing: survival. After a long discussion, the council members debated the risks and rewards. Finally, Lyra stood up and said, "We trust Zara and Alex. We must take this chance." Slowly, the council nodded in agreement. "We will support your research," the elder said, a sense of resolve filling the air. "Let's work together." A wave of relief washed over Zara and Alex. They had taken a bold step forward, and the council's support meant everything. In the following weeks, they worked tirelessly together, combining their knowledge and resources. Zara and Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose as they collaborated with the scientists. They poured their hearts into their research, hoping to find a cure. As they labored side by side, their friendship deepened into something more profound. They shared dreams of a new life, one where Xylora thrived, freed from disease and despair. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, they made a breakthrough. The combined research produced promising results. With hope in their hearts, they began the process of testing the cure on a small group of Xylorans. The day of the first test arrived, and the air was thick with anticipation. Zara held Alex's hand tightly as they stood before their friends and the council. "Together, we have created a new path," she said, her voice strong. As the first dose was administered, everyone held their breath. In that moment, they knew they were fighting not just for survival, but for a future filled with hope, love, and a new life together. A bright future. The sun rose over Xylora, casting golden light across the lush landscape. It was a new day, and with it came new hope. Alex and Zara stood at the edge of the research center, looking out at the forest where they had once hidden. Their hearts were filled with anticipation as they awaited the results of their first round of tests. Zara turned to Alex, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Today could change everything," she said, her voice barely containing her enthusiasm. "Yes, it could," Alex replied, smiling back at her. "No matter what happens, we've already made a difference." They entered the lab, where the council members and scientists were gathered. The atmosphere was electric, filled with nervous energy. Everyone was eager to hear the results of the tests. Zara felt a flutter of anxiety in her stomach, but she took a deep breath, reminding herself of the hard work they had done. As the head scientist, Dr. Corin, prepared to speak, the room fell silent. "Thank you all for your dedication and courage," he began. "We have tested the new treatment developed from human and Xyloran DNA. The results are promising." Zara's heart raced as she glanced at Alex, who nodded encouragingly. Dr. Corin continued, "Out of the 10 initial subjects, 8 showed significant improvement. The signs of the disease are fading, and we are optimistic about the next phase of treatment." A wave of relief washed over the room, followed by cheers and applause. Zara could hardly believe her ears. They had done it. Together, they had found a way to help her people. "Thank you, Zara and Alex," Dr. Corin said, turning to them. "Your bravery and vision have changed the course of our future. We will continue the testing and expand our research." Zara felt tears of joy prick at her eyes. "This is just the beginning," she said, her voice steady. "We need to keep working together to ensure that everyone receives this treatment." The council agreed, and plans were set in motion to produce the cure for all those affected. As days turned into weeks, Zara and Alex worked alongside the scientists, witnessing the incredible changes happening within the community. People who had once been weak and ill were beginning to recover. Hope was returning to Xylora. As they walked through the village, Zara noticed the smiles on faces that had once been filled with despair. "It's beautiful," she said, her heart swelling with happiness. "Yes, it is," Alex replied, his eyes shining. "And we played a part in this. You should be proud, Zora." Zora smiled, feeling grateful for their journey together. Their friendship had blossomed into something deeper, a bond that would last a lifetime. One evening, as they strolled along a path lined with blooming flowers, Alex paused and turned to Zora. "I know we've been through so much together. I can't imagine my life without you. What do you think our future holds?" Zora took a deep breath, her heart pounding. "I believe our future is bright. We've created something beautiful together, and I want to keep building on that." Alex took her hand, warmth spreading through him. "I want that too. We can work side by side, not just for Xelara, but for us." Zora's heart fluttered. "Yes, together. I can't wait to see what we can achieve." As the sun set, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, they made their way to a hill overlooking the village. They stood hand in hand, gazing out at the world they had helped change. In that moment, they realized that their journey was just beginning. Together, they would continue to fight for a better future, not just for Xelara, but for all beings who needed hope and healing. With renewed determination, they knew that love and friendship could conquer any challenge. They were ready to embrace whatever the future held, hand in hand, with hearts full of hope.